What if the real secret to building a strong community isn't some big, complicated strategy? What if it's actually hiding in plain sight in something as simple as a Thanksgiving letter? Well, today we're going to break down a message from a school superintendent that does exactly that. It reveals this incredible cycle of gratitude and action. Let's dive in and see how it works. Okay, so it all kicks off with this one line. And think about what's not here, right? There's no corporate jargon, no big formal announcements. It's just simple, warm, and direct. It's more than a greeting, It's like a digital handshake. It immediately pulls you in and makes the whole thing feel personal, like it's meant just for you. So the first thing this letter does is lay the groundwork. It's all about establishing a foundation of gratitude. Before we even get to the amazing story of what this community did, the superintendent takes a moment to remind everyone of the why behind it all, that shared spirit that kind of holds them all together. And check out how inclusive this is. The thanks go out to everyone: students, parents, teachers, and staff. The superintendent is making it crystal clear that this isn't some top-down message. Nope. By naming every group, she's basically defining the community as this big, collaborative team. It's such a powerful way of saying, hey, we are all in this together. And this is where it gets really good, because that foundation of gratitude, it's not just a nice, fluffy feeling. Now we get to see how it sparks something real, something tangible. It transforms into this powerful action, all centered around a community food drive. So that brings up the big question, right? What does all this gratitude actually look like in action? How does a feeling turn into something that genuinely changes people's lives? Well, the answer is pretty incredible, and it's all in what happened next. Okay, get a load of this timeline. First, there's a plea for help. Then, a 2-week plan is put into motion, and boom, a weekend of action. We're talking just 2 weeks from identifying a need to the entire community mobilizing. This isn't some slow-moving corporate campaign. This was a fast, all-hands-on-deck response from a community that was absolutely ready to jump in. And when they jumped in, they really jumped in. We're talking over 100 students and staff members who volunteered their weekend. Just stop and think about that for a second. This wasn't some mandatory school event. They chose to be there. That's a massive voluntary turnout, and it just says so much about the dedication that's woven right into the fabric of this community. And here's the direct payoff for all that work, the direct result. Those 100+ volunteers, they weren't just sorting cans for fun. They were making sure families in their community would have food. And their effort led straight to this: 8 school food pantries, totally filled up and ready to go. Wow. Yeah, and let's be real, this was not glamorous work, right? It was pure hands-on, roll-up-your-sleeves kind of effort. Unloading cars, sorting all the food and personal items, moving donations around. But pay attention to that last little detail on the list: making donors feel welcome. That is so key. They weren't just running an assembly line for donations. They were actively building relationships, strengthening the community with every single person who dropped something off. And honestly, the superintendent's own words just nail it. You responded in a huge way. It wasn't just good or helpful, it was huge. And that simple phrase, it makes every single person who helped feel seen and valued. From the kid who sorted 1 can of soup to the family that dropped off a whole carload of stuff. Okay, so now the letter takes a bit of a turn. It pivots from celebrating what the community did to something a lot more personal. This is where the superintendent shares her own reflection, and it adds this layer of sincerity and real leadership that, frankly, you just can't fake. 35. 35 years. Just let that number sink in for a minute. This isn't some observation from a newcomer. This is the perspective of someone who has watched this community grow and change for decades. So that number, 35, it's not just a statistic. It's the foundation of her credibility. And it's exactly why what she says next hits so hard. And here it is. This is really the emotional heart of the whole letter. She says, I have never been more proud to be part of the North Colony community than I am now. After 35 years of service, this moment, this one food drive, is what made her the proudest she's ever been. That just elevates the whole thing from a successful project to, a truly defining moment for the entire community. But, great leadership isn't just about celebrating the wins. It's also about seeing and acknowledging the struggles. And that's exactly where the letter pivots next. It shows this incredible empathy for people who might not be feeling so celebratory. See, she gets that the holiday season can be a tale of two cities. For some, it brings love and laughter and all that good stuff. But for others, it can actually amplify things like grief or stress or financial worries. And by acknowledging both sides of that coin, she makes sure that every single person in the community, no matter what they're going through, feels seen and understood. And this might be the most powerful sentence in the entire message. Just 4 simple words. Please know that you are not alone. It's so direct. It's like a lifeline being offered to anyone who's struggling. And with that one sentence, the letter goes from being a thank you note to being an act of genuine support. It proves that this community really, truly takes care of its own. So when you put it all together, what do you get? Well, the whole letter basically lays out this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. We're calling it the gratitude loop. And it really is the core takeaway here for any community, anywhere. And here's how this gratitude loop actually works. It's a cycle, right? So it starts with genuine gratitude coming from the top. That feeling of being seen and valued, it inspires people to actually take action. Then, those amazing actions create a real result, like 8 fully stocked food pantries. And that result creates even more to be grateful for. It's this incredible positive feedback loop that just makes the entire community stronger. And that really brings us to the final thought here, because this isn't just a nice story about one school district, is it? It's basically a blueprint. It leaves all of us with a really important question to think about. What does the gratitude loop look like in your community? Where do you see that cycle of thanks and action playing out around you? And more importantly, how can you become a part of it?